Hello everyone, this is Zelx here, and today we are here with OTK Cornelius. The main goal of this deck is to reanimate Cornelius using Helio Hate Leech, and then play an Angel of Chaos and an Altair on Cornelius to turn him into a neutral follower, evolve him for his token spell, Corpse King Command, Necromancy tank, give Storm to Angel of Chaos Cornelius and Altair, and go face for 23 damage plus minus lethal. So as you can tell, this is basically just Transmute Shadow once again, but instead of Gilgamesh or Cerberus, we are doing it with Cornelius. Really, I've been relying on Hideo a lot to cheat out all these big followers on turn 7s for OTKs, and you can't really blame me, he's just that useful. Anyways, if you also run into big wards, don't worry about it. That's why we run Patchwork Pup inside this deck. Its last word transform a random enemy into a skeleton, so it will activate Angel of Chaos's first fanfare, which transform all enemies into fallen angels, so that even if they have 20 bajillion wards in your way, it does not matter at all. Basically, it's just another inbuilt case crack. Well, obviously, you don't actually need to run like 3 copies of Angel, 3 copies of Cornelia, 3 copies of Altair. You can tweak the numbers of these cards a little bit, add in a little bit more if you add more barrel rights if you think you don't have if you break too often, cut them down if you feel like something doesn't add up. But hey, who knows? Anyways, here's the QR code. That is also been in the description down below. And if you're new to the channel, remember leave a like, leave a subscribe, and without further ado, let's get right on to the gameplay. So this first game is up against Runecraft. Runecraft, Earthright, Golem Boost, you name it, they do it. Not really, but you get the idea. But of course, as I stated in the deck intro, the main goal of this deck is to actually bury Helio, bury Cornelius, reanimate Cornelius, and then play Angel of Chaos, transform, go face, lethal, win. Very easy, not that difficult. It's really key for this deck to actually get Cerberus early. Is basically our best way of getting out Helio for free. I mean, it's basically the only way we can get Helio out for free, because we can front load it and then just reanimate it on turn 7 later on. Here I've used all my Curse Kings away, draw more cards. It's honestly, maybe I could have played. Usually it's a good idea to play Cerberus on turn 4 instead of turn 3. It gives a lot more leeway for you. It actually card pops on time, directly on time on turn 7. If you play Cerberus too early on turn 3, for example, you're gonna have to hold back on your barrel rights a little bit. But if you see my hand doesn't have a lot of barrel right and I'm skipping turn 4 anyways, because by hard playing Helio, it doesn't matter. So playing it on turn 3 will have probably been the correct choice there. So right now, our quest, we only have 3 cards fused. To reanimate Cornelius, we need to get to 7 cards fused, which honestly is really easy at this point in the game. Why? Because I just need to fuse as much cards as possible. I do not need to keep any of them, and as Soulslide came at just the right time to help me clear the board. If it wasn't there, I might have been in a lot of trouble. But guess what? Now I'm not in any trouble. Here I use the Helio to draw a little bit more, clean out my deck, hopefully find a bit more barrel rights. As you can see, right, I'm still only at 5. 5 countdown for Cerberus becomes 4 the next turn. So I need to barrel right 3 this very turn if I want her to pop on time and Helio to come out on time. So if I'm lucky, I'll get a 1-drop for barrel right here. I mean, it's not even a 1-drop, but it's mint. But it is just in time came just in time, so I actually can get Cerberus to 1 countdown so that she will pop next turn. Here I'm just using cards to finish up the quest, but there's also one more quest I need to complete, which is I need to have 10 shadows, which honestly with this setup, it doesn't even matter that I have these 2 cards here. I already have 10 shadows just from Cerberus and Helio that we get back from this. Unfortunately for them, they have to clear my board. Actually, they don't have to. If it was me, I would try to buy time by giving myself one more turn. But what they decided to do is actually to clear my board, which actually, I'm not sure if they had no other options, but it actually gave me the win because now I have followers to trade my Helio into. So Helio comes out, pops itself, brings back Cornelius, Shadow follower. Now I change it to neutral using Altair. Now Evolve gives me King's Command. Now Angel of Chaos comes down, transform. The transform doesn't matter in this case, but what is important is that it's ready, evolves itself, and now we go phase for more than enough damage for the game. Pretty good. Well, now, as you can tell, this deck probably looks good. It looks fine. It's like a guaranteed kill on turn 7, provided your opponent doesn't have a phase shield. Actually, phase shield doesn't matter. Provided your opponent doesn't have like too much, didn't increase their HP by too much. After all, our reach is 23. If I make a bit of modification to the deck, we probably can push the reach to 25. Maybe by adding in 1 or 2 copies of Mikael. But that's just preference. Here we face Hugh Haven, which honestly might be a decent matchup for us, mainly because Helio has Bane, so even if they're big guys, it does not matter. Cornelius can wipe the board, so if they have a big board, it doesn't matter. And that's of course also Angel of Chaos. I just need to transform one of their guys, so Angel of Chaos transform all of their guys. So in the end, it doesn't matter as well. But as you can tell, this deck does have its weaknesses. If not, this would have been all over the place. Gilgamesh will probably still be the better option here for Transmute Shadow, just to because you get a lot of stats out on turn 6, which does 18, maybe even 20 damage. But for this deck, there's only one line of game plan, but that line of game plan is also unstoppable. So if you have faith, have confidence, you just have to that you draw all your important cards and that your Cerberus doesn't appear on the bottom 10 of your deck, then more often than not, you'll win the game. Here I kept Helio. It's a Bane follower, so I'm just keeping it there to probably trade into Illuvia, provided they don't have their perfect hand of who's that, the teacher, very someone, but they don't. So it's basically just I got a free trade, free kill of their Illuvia, which might have become really annoying. But because they didn't, it's basically just free for me. Here Soulside fuse into Soul's King. The reason why I did it that way instead of using Provisions of Blendy is so I can use my Burial Rites. Here I play Petrol Pup so I can, because I know that Haven loves to play a lot of wards. That's my thoughts on it. Maybe that's not true anymore, but that's just in case that this may suddenly become Big Haven or whatever, so I can get the transform active, and they banish it. Seriously, they banish it. I'm not at all happy about that. Wish they didn't, but they did. And as you can see right here, Cerberus countdown came up back way too early. Honestly, I would have loved for it to come back a bit later, but that is why we have the second one, so I only need to barrel right one time, and it will come back active on turn 7. So here I actually made a little bit of a mistake, as you can tell. I actually cleared their entire board, which is actually bad. Why? They can just pass the turn. They can choose not to do anything at all. There's absolutely no need for them to do anything. But fortunately for me, they decided to play John, which may or may not have been a misplay, but if they pass and they'll go to turn 8, I might have to concede the game because I couldn't get my Cornelius out safely. But because they didn't, this is game. Following the exact same little pattern as you saw in the previous game, Helio. First, of course, I fused all of my Shadowcraft cards away, just for a flex. Helio trades in, reanimates Cornelius, comes back. Altair changes Cornelius into neutral, evolve, gets me the token spell. And then Angel of Chaos comes down so that even if I couldn't deal with their bot anyways, I dealt with their bot anyways. So yes, Cornelius, Corpse King's Command, double attack, Altair, Cornelius, OTK. Anyway, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.